This shoe is not as good as everybody thinks it is. What is up, everybody, and welcome to Prime X HQ. Now, I kind of stayed away from this shoe for good reason, because I pronate a little bit on my left-hand leg, but I got proper sucked in to buying these when I saw all the other YouTubers out there going, yeah, this is the greatest shoe of all time. And I just, yeah, put my money where my mouth is. I bought these myself and I shipped them in. But there is a couple of things I think it's worth talking about other than how good the shoe is. So let's do stats and features first, right? Because this is a monster of a shoe. We've got, hang on, I'm going to have to read some of this out, sorry about this. But we've effectively got, where is it? 49 and a half, or 47 and a half stack in the heel? You'll let me know in the comments. 8.5mm drop, we've got energy rods in there. Light Strike Pro, 272 grams, 230 pounds. Now, the upper is structured in a way, it's been done from like training data from like proper runners, they're elites I call that, to whip different fibres properties through the upper, and they've sort of put them in different ways to really dial in the fit of the upper, so it creates that snug feeling around the upper and give you support and how in the upper and how your foot's moving around. And that's why you've got these different fibres that are strung in here, and the way they've created the upper is super clever, super exciting the way they've done it, because I'm sure this is the way they're now going to go. They've taken all that exciting data from those elite runners and they played around with it and created this, what is really an incredible piece of engineering in this upper, and they've made it in such a way that it does support the foot. And that's really important, because I don't think we talk enough about uppers and how much they can really make a difference to a shoe. If you get a really good upper in a shoe, it can make a bad shoe really good. Now, I don't think I've explained that particularly well, so go onto the Adidas website and you'll get more information on that strung upper. But as I say, I stayed away from this shoe in the past because on paper it shouldn't work for me. Now, I tried the New Balance SC trainer because I wanted to try these max stack sort of training shoes with plates in, because there is a benefit to it, right? So I wanted to get the Prime X because the SC didn't work for me, and I've documented that. It gave me massive issues in my legs, but I've not had this or had that in this shoe. It actually says in here millimeters 50, so I think actually it's 49 and a half in the heel. Anyway, but we've got, right, in this shoe we've got like these two layers of Light Strike Pro. Can you see that? And you've got the energy rods in there. So effectively from down here it's still the original Prime X with your, you know, your Continental rubber and all that sort of stuff. But the upper, it really is incredible. Now, I hope that they put this upper on these version 4 of these, and it's really weird this year. I've kind of gone a little bit more Adidas biased with the Pro 3 and then going into this, and that's another reason why, you know, when those reviews came out, and big love to those guys who reviewed this shoe and gave it such a positive feedback, you know, Believe in the Run, Ed Budd, and definitely subscribe to those channels. But when it came out, because of the good feelings I had from the Adidas Pro 3, that made me even more convinced to pull the trigger. Now, the ride is definitely unstable if you're not thinking about it, and it's a shoe that you've got to be very careful in. If you're a real heel striker, you're going to struggle. If you're this is going to sound awful, but if you're not competent in your running form, if you're not aware of how you are running, then you could come unstuck with this shoe. Because of someone who, like myself, is very conscious of the fact that I pronate on my left-hand side and that I do run with sort of negative hip position, and I'm just a little bit out sometimes, especially when I get lazy. You know, I'm very conscious of that when I'm doing training runs. And the shoe, for me, this shoe is a shoe that I'm going to be using for training runs on the longer distances. And I will, we've got a half marathon, can't remember the date, but we've got a half marathon, I will run the shoe then. But it's not going to be a race shoe for me. It's going to be, you know, that sort of training and inter-race shoe for me, but mainly on those longer runs. But my point is that I am conscious of my running form and I am trying to improve that. So I have gone from being a heel striker to more of a mid to forward foot strike. And this shoe is very good when you are about here to here. You know, it does get you on that, and it's a great feeling underfoot of having that cushion with the energy return, with the energy rods to get you going. But as soon as you go that fraction back, you do feel the instability. So you have to, which I don't think is a bad thing, maintain good form and good pace in the shoe to get the max out of it. But that is the thing. And that's why I don't think it is, you know, and it's not to be controversial or contradict anybody in any shape or form, so everybody's got their opinion, but I don't think it is the greatest shoe out there, because I just think it's a little bit too narrow in terms of what it offers to everybody. For me, it's going to do a job that's needed to be done, which, as I said, on those longer miles at goal pace runs when we get into marathon training. But I do feel that it is quite a selective audience, and you've got to be very careful with it. It is a great weapon if you're using it in the correct way. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to go into examples because I was thinking really bad things there. But my point is that if you use it correctly, then yes, it probably is the greatest shoe of all time. But at the moment, I think you've got to be very careful on how and when you use the shoe. But yes, it is a very good shoe, and I think the upper is incredible on it, and I'm very pleased that I got the shoe, although I am kind of scared every time I put it on, the fact that I'm going to break my ankle. But I haven't had the issues like I had with the SC trainer, which is the issues around my leg. So, you know, the sort of slightly firmer feeling compound of the Light Strike Pro is definitely given me what I need from the midsole compound versus the Fuel Cell midsole, and that's why I'm so pleased with it, because I wanted this sort of shoe in my rotation, and I'm glad that you guys, like your Ed Buds of this world, and you know, you Believe in the Run guys, came out with those reviews, because I would never have thought about purchasing this shoe. So I'm really glad that those guys, you know, talk so highly of it, because really honestly I would never have looked at it before. So thank you to those channels. But yeah, it's definitely something that needs a warning sticker on it. I think that's probably the best way to finish the video. It's a very good shoe. It's fantastic, you know, and all the superlatives that go around it. But I do think you have to go into it with a little bit of caution. I'd rather you spend, you know, everyday runners, I'd rather you spend your money on probably buying something like this, the Saucony Pro 3. I do think that would give you, you know, just as much bang for your buck. 39.5mm stack, and you can do your long run training runs in it, and you can race it on race day. So you know what I mean, and that's the thing for me. I think it is that little bit too narrow in terms of market. But yeah, super surprised with it. I am loving it. We will come back and do maybe we'll do a long run test on the shoe. But yeah, just be careful. Don't get sucked into the hype like I did, because I do think it just needs that little bit of warning when you do buy it.